Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 6, Episode 24, and the name of this episode is The Black Dress. Sorry this review is late, but there was a thunderstorm. I live in Washington, D.C. There was a thunderstorm, and my cable had got shut off for a minute, and so I missed like the first 6 minutes of the episode. So I'm glad I waited, because the beginning of the episode, we see that Veronica is on the piano, and she's, in the way she's playing is just very demonic-like. And we actually, and also what's going on is that there's a replay of the explosion of the car, and we see that David is alive. David's in very critical condition, and he's asking, "Where's Erica? Where's Erica? Veronica did this. She did this. Where is Erica?" And I'm like, damn. So, so yeah, this is gonna get even more interesting, because we see afterwards, Veronica gets a call from, the guy that she hired to blow up the car on their burnt phone, and he lets them know that it's done. And so in her mind, Erica and David is dead, but little does she know David is still alive. But yeah, Erica is been burnt and overcooked. She ain't coming back. We definitely saw that in the last episode. Erica was burnt the fuck up. So we see that after she gets off the phone with him, she takes the chip out the phone and she breaks it. She flushes down the toilet, and then she pulls out her black dress and begins to play act like, oh my. I'm like, Veronica, if you don't take your demonic ass on somewhere with your bullshit. But she was doing the most this episode too, because later on she meets up with Jeffrey, and I'm gonna talk about that because that was crazy. Now, next I'm gonna talk about Benny and Gia. Benny's still trying to go and everything, because remember, he's supposed to be having a conversation with Mitch. And of course, Gia has been given orders from Candace to keep Benny there and not let him leave. So she's pretty much says that, we just gotten close, like, so won't you come upstairs and I can give you a massage, and you look like you stressed out. And he's like, yeah, I am feeling a little stressful. So he says, I can come up for 30 minutes. They go up, they go up to her room, and, she was saying, okay, lay on the bed, I'm going to give you a massage. He lays in the bed just with his regular clothes, but then she tells him to take off his shirt. Tell me why this, and he pretty much says that, look, he kept it real with her. He's like, look, I'm going to be real with you. I'm cool with you giving me a massage, but you taking off my shirt, that's going to lead to some other things, because we know that Benny is a hot dick motherfucker who is quick to jump in bed with whatever woman that gives him some attention. And, Gia is pretty much like, I'm just going to give you a massage, just take off your shirt. So he gets up, takes off his shirt, and takes off his pants. And I'm like, Benny, I'm not surprised. I'm saying Benny got a hot penis, and he ready to screw. And he's like, look, it is what it is. You told me to take off my shirt, I take off everything. So, let's get it popping. So, but I was just like, damn, Benny. I ain't gonna lie. Benny was looking damn good, even though he dumb as hell. So, after Benny strips down, he lays on the bed. We see that she gets on top of him in her high heels and still wearing that dress. And as a matter of fact, Gia, you a nasty bitch. Your ass just not too long ago had sex with Jim, and you still wearing the same damn dress. What? You so damn hoish you don't know how to change clothes and go? So she's pretty much massaging she's pretty much massaging Benny. The next thing you know, she ain't even massaged the fool for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden Benny hard as nails, and he's the one putting the moves on her. But we saw earlier that when Gia had let when Gia had let Candace know about Benny's whereabouts, that he was still there, and I'm trying to keep him here, but he says he's gonna leave. But she says, okay, let me know when he does. But then she gives Gia instructions not to sleep with him, and she's like, I'm just gonna keep him here. But little do you know, Candace, your fucking brother is a slut just like your ass. So soon as she stripped down, next thing you know, one thing lead to another, and next thing you know, we see that Gia had them high heels pointing to the sky, and he was tearing her up. And I'm like, I'm telling you, man, Benny ain't gonna never sleep on no poom poom now. You throw some poom poom around him, Benny gonna get it. Benny gonna take it. Which is exactly what he did with Veronica and Melissa. He just gullible when it comes to pussy, and that's just how Benny is. So we see that go on. And then after Candace had talked to Gia, we see that she ends up calling Veronica, and pretty much Veronica and her have a conversation, and Veronica's like, why are you calling me? And she was like, I'm trying to check in to find out what's going on. And she lets her know, I did what I had to do. And she's like, what does that mean? She was like, why are you calling me? And then Candace lets her know that, look, I'm trying, the money you put into the Crier account, I transferred it to another account. So I want to know, is there a way that that I can, get the money back into the old account? Is there a way that I can get around that, getting that money back to the account, without having to go through any loopholes? And then, like, Veronica just told her, like, you're not going to be able to get that money back unless, whatever account has it authorizes for the transaction or the transfer. So if you don't have no authorization, you ain't getting that. And then she just pretty much saying, like, girl, you stupid. You dumb as hell. And pretty much Candace is like, well, I'm going to need to get that money back or I'm about to go nuclear because this is my way. And when she said nuclear, Veronica was like, what do you mean by that? She was like, meaning there's going to be no turning back and I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get that money back because that money is going to get me the hell up out of here and all that shit. And she was just like, really, girl? So you open an account to get some money in it and now the money gone and you trying to get me to help you get the money back? Girl, you stupid as hell. You clever, but you're stupid. And then she's like, please, can you help me? And Veronica was like, oh, please? You saying please now, bitch? You must be really desperate. But then she's like, well, could you at least try? And Veronica was like, no. As a matter of fact, this whole little situation we have is done. You know I hate you, bitch. Veronica, you so evil. Damn. You're so damn evil. It's ridiculous. And then she says, what do you mean our thing is over? I mean, what about what's going on with David and Erica? She said, I got impatient. And she's like, what the fuck you mean you got impatient? Veronica was like, bang, bang, boom. And she's like, what the hell does that mean? She's saying that, well, pretty much that situation's been handled. And, I have to, work on making myself look sad, which is going to be hard to do because I'm so beautiful and shit. And then immediately, she says that, so Tata, she ends up hanging up on Candace. Candace immediately starts thinking, oh my God, Erica. She calls Erica, it goes straight to voicemail. And I'm like, yeah, boo-boo, Erica has been overcooked. You ain't reaching her ass. She's done. So immediately, Candace started to realize, oh my God, Veronica done did some crazy shit. And she realized that she ain't heard back from Erica or nothing. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. But yeah, Veronica decided to do the most. So then we actually get a scene where where Vic, I forgot the other guy, I think it's another uncle of his, but Mitch meets up, you know, at the Iron Bone with Vic and all of them, and pretty much Vic and Mitch go back and forth, and pretty much he was saying that you know, Mitch was like, so pretty much, well, I'm sorry. What ended up happening is that they had a conversation, and pretty much Mitch literally tells Vic, "You got it wrong," and he was like, "No, I know what I saw. That black kid is the one that did it." He's like, "No, he didn't. He didn't do anything, you know. So you got it wrong." So of course they like wondering, "What you mean by that?" He says, "I just got finished talking to Uncle Vinny." He's like, "Oh, they didn't even know Uncle Vinny is conscious and he's able to talk." So here it is, the both of them thinking it's Benny that did that to Uncle Vinny, and Mitch, you know, says that Uncle Vinny sent me here because he wanted me to check the ATM machine, because whoever the last person that ran that ATM, that's the one that stabbed him. It wasn't Benny. So they check it, and lo and behold, Wyatt Cryer. And it's like, "Oh, you talking about that judge kid?" And it's like, regardless who the fuck he is, when we find him, we gonna kill his ass. And then Mitch was like, "So that means everything is square with Benny, right?" And they was like, "Well, we already sent a hitman after his ass." And like also Mitch was like, "Oh shit, you know, Benny's innocent. He had nothing to do with this, but due to the fact that, you know, that Vic had named Benny as a suspect, the Malones are ready to retaliate, because, you know, the Malones do that street justice shit. They ain't going by the book. You fuck with one of them, they gonna take you out. You even shoot at a Malone, you going down." And lo and behold, a Malone just got killed, and the only person that came out, you know, as far as having any involvement in it, is Benny. The Malones were ready. So Mitch is now trying to call Benny. Benny is tearing up, you know, Gia up in the room, and he's trying to say, like, "Look, you need to lay low for a while until we get this situation resolved. You don't need to be out here like this because, you know, they after you." So then, one of the funniest scenes in this episode for me was Wyatt and Justin. Wyatt is literally going off in the jail. "Guard! Guard! Guard!" And then we see that daggone Justin is getting clowned by other police officers and shit. It was so funny. And he was like, "Yo, who is that yelling?" And he was like, "I was talking to you, asshole." And the dude was like, "Yo, dude, we all know all about your situation, so at the end of the day, you the only asshole." And then he was like, "And what kind of man would do that to his family?" Like, they literally were like clowning the fuck out of Justin. So Justin literally right now is the joke of the office. And we see that there's an officer there who's a lesbian, and she pretty much says that, "You know what, we need to stick together, don't worry about them, fuck them." And he was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" She said LGBTQ. And he's like, "Look, I don't give a damn about your alphabet soup or your, you know, MICKEYMOUSE. I don't give a shit. You know, I ain't with that. You know, so mind your business and stay out of my way," and all this shit. And I'm like, now, didn't you just the last episode, you fucking threw all this shit at Jeffrey saying that we a couple and shit? So, nigga, you gay. Stop the bullshit. I mean, that made me want to beat Justin's ass. So I'm like, "Justin, you're gay. You literally screwed up your relationship with your wife and your family for a man. And you're still trying to deny the fact that you're gay? Like, who the fuck you think you fooling, dude?" So pretty much he was saying that, "Look, I don't care about your, you know, I don't care about your KEKATIE LGBT. I don't give a damn." And then she was like, "LGBTQ, motherfucker." So I'm like, yeah. So now that everybody know about Justin's business shit, they clowning the hell out of him. So he decides to go find out who's making the noise, and he finds out it's Wyatt. And you know, Wyatt is a junkie motherfucker, and he got that junkie itch. He's like, hey, won't you help me out, man? Won't you give me something? And he was like, yo, what the hell happened? How'd you end up in here? And he was like, ooh, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm like, Justin, I know you feeling your shit right now because you was definitely doing that shit when Jeffrey was in jail, where you was using your badge to get your way and to manipulate and screw with the prisoners. He gets off on that shit. But this is a crier. And if you fuck with this dude, oh, trust and believe, Jim gonna fuck you up. So you keep on playing this damn game and shit and thinking this shit's funny. This shit gonna come back and bite you in the ass, Justin, if you don't fucking quit your playing. So he pretty much saying that. So pretty much Wyatt's like, yo, give me some stuff. Give me some stuff. He's like, you know, I could maybe get some stuff for you. But you know, you gotta pay for it. He's like, man, they stole my money. They took my money, but I can get it for you. You know, I'm good for it. You know, just give me the money. And he's like, just give me the stuff or whatever. He's like, okay, fine. I'll see what I can do. And then all of a sudden he's like, where you going? Where you going? I'm like, dude, like Wyatt is so on edge right now that it's crazy. He was like, oh my God, I am enjoying this. You know, like, what did you do to get up in here? You know, but I'm going to let you know something. If I help you, you need to stay the hell away from Jeffrey. You need to leave him alone. And he was like, look, dude, I told you that Jeffrey is my friend and there's nothing like that. He said, yeah, I know. But if you want me to help you, you need to leave Jeffrey alone. He's like, fine, you know, help me. Please, just help me. I need something. I need something. He's like, yeah, I can help you, but what's in it for me? He's like, fine, I won't bother Jeffrey anymore. You know, I'll leave Jeffrey alone and all this shit. And I'm like, yo, dude, you about to give up your best friend just for a hit. Yo, junkie sorry ass. And this dude don't fucking like you. So what makes you think he's gonna give you some good shit? If anything, he gonna give you something that's gonna take your ass out of here. But you such a damn junkie and so pressed to shoot something up your damn arm. You don't know what the hell you shooting up. You don't know what the hell he's gonna give you. But because you such a damn junkie and you so on edge, here it is. You about to fucking take something from a nigga that can't stand your ass because he knows at the end of the day Jeffrey's in love with you and he hates it. So then we get a quick scene with Jeffrey and RK. You know, pretty much, he immediately just asks RK, what did Justin do to you? And he was like, he ain't do nothing to me. He just talked to me. He's like, look, the first time I met him, he pulled me over. And, you know, when he had me in the squad car, he pulled over somewhere and literally got into the back of the seat and started fondling me. You know. So pretty much, he was like, so pretty much RK was like, well, did you like it? And he was like, did you? And he's like, look, I already told you, he ain't do nothing with me. He's like, but, you know, Jeffrey is now remembering, he did say that, you know, when he was in the car, you know, he did kind of fill RK up or whatever. You know, when he was in the jail. But he was saying, no, that never happened. And like, when he took me out the cell, all he did was talk to me and let me go. He's like, oh, so he ain't do nothing with you. He was like, nah, it's nothing like that. You know, so immediately he started to kind of peep RK, and he was like, you know, are you really gay? And, you know, or was you really trying to rob me or whatever? He's like, no, I wasn't nothing like that. I wasn't trying to rob you, you know. And then, but then he was like, yeah, but I do like your watch. And he was like, oh, really? And then he pretty much flashes the watch at him. He's like, look, this watch was a gift. You know. And he says then, and I can just tell, you not gay, bruh. You just like to play like you gay. But he was saying that, yeah, but I can be very convincing, though. And I'm like, yeah. And you shouldn't be taking that shit as a compliment, RK, that you can be convincing. Because you gonna play that convincing shit and somebody gonna take your cookie if you don't stop playing with your simple ass. So then the next thing you know, we see Veronica shows up. And he was like, oh, well, hi. She was like, look, I ain't here for no damn small talk. Just pour me a drink. And then all of a sudden, pretty much, she's there to talk to Jeffrey. And you know damn well she got a tracking device on him, so she definitely knew where he was. So they go back and forth and everything, and he pretty much, then we see the RK ask like, yo, can I get you anything, Jeffrey? And he's like, no, I'm good. And he was like, oh, you know each other? And he was like, oh yeah, do you happen to have a gun back there? And then Veronica was like, oh wow, check her out. She done went from knives to now asking for guns. This damn Veronica's a mess. And then, she's decked out in her all black and with the little hat that matches the outfit. So he pretty much asked her, why are you wearing all black? And she was like, look, I'm grieving. But then he was like, why do you always... Well, before that, he was like, why do you always find me? And she says that, look, you're always attached to me. You're my son. I'm always going to be attached to you. And he was saying, well, maybe that's just it. Maybe I need to cut the umbilical cord. And she was like, well, maybe you should. I mean, after all, maybe I won't have to deal with your feminine hormones anymore. I'm like, Veronica, you evil ass bitch. You just can't help yourself. She was just taking these jabs. But then he was like, why are you here and why are you wearing all black? And she's like, well, I'm here to let you know that I'm grieving. Like, grieving what? She was like, well, one, I'm grieving the loss of my marriage. I'm even grieving the loss of my son. I mean, even though you're alive, but you probably will be dead, if you keep on with your homosexual tendencies. I'm like, Veronica, you need to go sit your trifling ass down with that. Like, real talk. And then he got to the point, he was like, you know what, I'm through. Like, he was about to leave. She's like, I haven't finished it. I haven't finished telling you why I'm grieving. I'm like, this damn bitch is too damn much. And she begins to say that, well, Melissa's dead. And he's like, what happened? He's like, she jumped off of Hannah's roof. And immediately he was like, oh my God. He's like, boy, please don't act like you cared about her. And and then that damn Jeffrey knows his mother. He was like, what did you do? He's like, I didn't do anything. He's like, yeah, she was unstable and all that, but what did you do that she ended up committing suicide? So he knew his mother had something to do with that shit. Or better yet, she did something to push her over the edge because he knows everything that Veronica's been doing. Not only to Melissa, but also to him. And then she says, but there's more. I'm also grieving your father. And she's like, what the hell you mean? She was like, I don't know. And then the next thing you know, she calls, he pretty much calls David and it goes straight to voicemail. So now he's like, yo, what the hell happened to my father? But then another thing that went down, she starts, talking to RK and tells RK to give her a bottle of champagne. And then she's like, how you know my son? And he was like, well, yeah, I just met him. I mean, he seems cool. He's like, oh yeah. So yeah, he's gay, right? And he was like, gay? I don't know anything about that, but I'm straight, so that wouldn't even matter to me anyway. And then she was like, boy, give me the champagne. I'm like, Veronica got a little thing for fucking RK, and RK definitely sees her as a score and a come up. So we gonna see how that's gonna play out. But yeah, we definitely see something going on with that. So then we see that Jim goes to see Wyatt. He talks to the guard at the front desk, and he pretty much tells him that he's his lawyer, and he needs to go see his client. So he says, give me a minute. Then we see that damn smug ass George comes up to Jim, And, you know, and he pretty much says that, look, he kind of has a conversation with George and lets him know, like, look, George, Wyatt can't be in here, you know. And he was like, well, at the end of the day, you know what he did. And he's like, my son had nothing to do with that. It's like, look, we have witnesses and everything that have come forward and say that, yeah, Wyatt was the one who did it. And, you know, the thing about it, it's a Malone. I mean, do you know how bad that's going to get? And pretty much he was saying that, look, George, this is a serious situation. My son can't be in prison, so you need to quit this little damn witch hunt that you're trying to do to come after me and Catherine. And he was like, oh no, this is not a witch hunt. This is for real. You know, and I have a solid case against you guys. And he was like, you know what, do what you gotta do. You know, but once the truth comes out, you're gonna feel like an idiot. And he was like, you know, and then he was like, so then afterwards he was like, you know, so what is the truth? And he's saying that I just told you. But the truth is that you barking up a tree that you don't want to climb. Simple, you know, I'm just paraphrasing. But then he begins to tell him that, look, I know this has to be hard for you. You know, Wyatt's in jail and then David's in the hospital. He's like, David's in the hospital? What the fuck you mean David in the hospital? What happened? He was like, well, there's an explosion. They've been talking. You know, it's been, you know, right now it's still under investigation. The FBI's investigating the whole thing. I mean, I thought you knew. And he's like, oh my God, I need to go. He's like, maybe you need to focus on your son right now. I'm like, see, George, you gonna get fucked up. You keep playing these damn games. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that later. So then we see that Benny's on his way out and he runs into Veronica's ass. And Veronica's all, sit your nasty ass down. You know. So I come to find out that Melissa was staying over there with your mammy. And he was like, first of all, my mother ain't no mammy, so you better stop that disrespectful shit. And besides, yeah, she was staying there, and I let her, and she came to stay with us after you kicked her out. So what do you expect? And she was like, are you sleeping with her? You know, pretty much, you know, did you like sleep with her and all that? He's like, man, I'm not gonna answer that, and I'm not gonna be doing this with you, Veronica. Like, look, we done. You just need to get over it. Leave me the fuck alone. And she's like, well, I could have the police to come over and talk to you, you know. And he said, what would they talk to me about? And she's like, oh, trust me, I'll think of something. You know, she says that, you don't quit me, honey. I am Veronica Harrington, and I take out the trash. He pretty much says that, you know what, you a crazy bitch. But, I'm going to let you know, you send anybody to my house, I'm going to show you what's up. I'm like, okay, Benny, you feeling yourself, but then again, you don't know how evil and treacherous Veronica is. So, you may be writing a check that your ass can't cash. Just saying. So then we see that Malik, RK, and Candace are staked outside of Hannah's house. They're playing the elections on, and right now Charles is winning, but you know there's still some states that he has to get. But right now things are looking good in Charles's favor. But Candace told him to turn off the radio, and then RK was like, well, he's gonna be a black president, and you know I'm rooting for him. And then all of a sudden Candace was like, turn this shit off, Malik. And then RK was like, well, I guess I'll just have to find out tomorrow. And then we see that also Hannah's watching it in her apartment. And Hannah gets a call, you know, from Derek. Derek is still there, you know, because, you know, he's still working on the air conditioning unit. And he was saying that, you know, if things get bad, I'll put everybody up in hotels while I fix this. But, you know, I'm on the job. But he says, I want to come and visit you or whatever. And she's like, well, it's late. You know, I'm probably going to go back to bed. He's like, I still want to come see you. I'm like, Derek's still trying to get up in Hannah's, trying to break in Hannah. And I'm like, but if anything, Hannah is intrigued with him. And she's like, you know what? And he's like, well, I also want to take you out again and everything. And she's like, well, hey, maybe, you know, the way what I've been going through lately, I do need to get out and, you know, have a good time. He's like, yeah, so let's do that. But then she says that, look, I'm about to go to bed, so, just call me tomorrow and we can meet up or whatever. And he agrees to it. And then we see that Candace gets a call from Gia, and Gia lets her know that that Benny left. And she's like, when did he leave? She was like, about 20 minutes ago. And she was like, bitch, I thought I told you to tell him. Why the fuck you wait till now to tell me? She says, I've been calling you and texting you, Candace. Candace got another thing going on, so she probably been ignoring her shit. And she's like, oh. But then we see that damn Gia feels some kind of way because when Candace find out you done fucked Benny, she gonna beat your ass. And it is what it is. So then we also see that after Hannah gets off the phone with Derek, she has a conversation with Catherine, and they talk about Melissa because it's been on the news, so everybody knows about the suicide. And she's like, oh my god, that's so sad, and she was like, so what was she doing at your house? She said that Benny had brought her over and she was staying with Veronica, and Veronica is just so awful. I cannot stand her ass. And she says, trust, I understand, Hannah, I do. And pretty much, next thing you know, she hears, they pretty much start talking. They talk about, her turning in white and all that. The next thing you know, she hears like a thump downstairs, so she thinks Benny's home. But what ended up happening is that Benny was right in front of the house. Candace calls him and lets him know, please come back to the hotel, I really need you and all that. So Benny pulls off, and that's when she sends Malik in. So the thump that Hannah heard was actually Malik breaking into the place. She goes downstairs thinking it's Benny, and the next you know, she sees somebody in a black mask, and we see that the last thing we're seeing is that he's chasing Hannah through the house. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. But also be in mind, Derek is still around. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Whether Candace plan to get Malik to scare her to sign that money, whether that's going to be successful. But I think it may go left. And that's pretty much what I'm seeing. So that's what I have, everybody. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of the Haves and the Have-Nots. So until next time, everybody, take care.